The nLight relay power pack, often referred to as, what do they call it? They call it nLight dimming pack. Is from Acuity, and Acuity has a lot of different products. They make, relays, sensors, wall pods, interfaces like the Neo, just tons of stuff, light fixtures. If you go to their website, you will get a lot of information on this. They're really good. They have videos, they have training. It's just a real good setup. These actually are pretty common because they're used throughout the industry lately because, in certain states you have what is called Title 24, which is an energy conservation thing. And like, I live in the state of California, so it's a big deal. And it's kind of a good thing in one way. I mean, it's just more to deal with, but it's a good thing because copper has risen so much lately that this will actually save you money, because you're just using Ethernet cables to go in and out of these relays, and you place them up in your T-bar ceiling or wherever they're going to be, and once you've got your relay in place, you tie it to a light fixture, or you buy a light fixture that's compatible, then you just have to run Ethernet cable, Cat 5e or Cat 6, whatever you want, and that's pretty cheap and no conduit. It's just kind of a better way of doing it, I guess. For me, I like to keep things simple. I don't like things that can fail. This relay has power for input power. I'm sorry, this actually is your output power, and it has a fuse on it and a glass fuse inside there. Your input power is either your black or your orange lead, depending, black being 120, orange being 277. I don't know, I don't really use these things much, but that's how it is on most every relay. Then you've got a purple and a gray lead, that's for your 10 volt dimming. Then you have white, this is your neutral conductor. Then you have an EGC, this is for your equipment grounding conductor. And the blue, it probably tells you on here, I'll tell you in a second here. What's that blue for? Oh, the blue is actually your load. So the red is your line, and you have to also hook, if you were going 277, the red and the orange would go to your incoming line. If it was 120, the red and the black would go to your incoming line. Getting colorblind here. Red and black go to your incoming line for 120 volt. Then, like I say, I don't want to go over it again, but these are your dimming leads, and this is your load. So your fuse coming in, they're protecting not only the device, they're protecting the relay, I guess. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. Notice there's a button on here. There's also lights on the Ethernet port, so you can see the bus communications. There's a unique ID number on every relay that you'll come across. Every switch, every relay will have that. Light fixtures will have that. And you'll need that if you're going to use something like the Neo, or you're going to use the software in a bridge, because if you have 20 or 30 relays, you don't know which relay this is. You know it's an NPP16 DS, but which DSS is it? So that unique number will help you identify it. So if this was like for hallway lights, let's just say, you would know this unique ID number belonged to that switch, and this or to that light, and the switch or wall pod would have a unique ID, and you could pair the two. If you did it with a Neo like this, you would just simply plug your Ethernet cable into this. You'd Bluetooth out to your cell phone or your tablet, and then you'd run the app and pair the devices. Okay, so otherwise you'd have to go to your wall pod, push it twice, wait for the light to flash, then push it 10 more times, wait for the light to flash, then push it 2 more times, wait for the light to flash. Then find this device out in the field, climb up the ladder, open up the T-bar ceiling, do whatever you got to do. Go over there and hit this 2 times, then hit this 14 times, and then hit this 2 times. Okay, then you're paired. Well, can you imagine running around a building doing that? It just takes forever. So it's just better to spend the $49 and get this little Neo here, and you can just set it up real easy. I would say if it's a big, humongous building, you should probably go ahead and get the software and the bridge. And Acuity sells those. You know, I'm not a salesman. I'm just saying that's how you do it, because you might get stuck having to deal with this type of a system more than likely, because a lot of engineers like this system. So I've seen it in a lot of buildings. When I first saw it, I was kind of intimidated by it. I've only installed it in one building, but it was super easy. The whole thing was super easy to install. Making up the cat cables, that's easy. All that's easy, you know. So you're saving money. You don't have to run conduit. There's a lot of advantages to it. You know, it is a failure point in my opinion, but you know, callbacks are good, I guess, because you can make extra money when you get called back to fix stuff. I believe, I didn't have to do it, but I believe you may have to get this commissioned. You know, I mean, if you don't feel like programming, you would definitely get it commissioned by someone, and then I think it has to be certified with the state. So, you know, that's another hurdle you got to jump over. In my case, I didn't even have to do it because the inspector said, I don't care, you don't need that stuff. As long as you have LED lighting, you're fine. So that's what these came out. What have I missed anything? Oh, on these will put out, the power supply in here will put out 40 milliamps. And 40 milliamps is quite a bit, because each sensor and each wall switch, they average between 3 to 5 milliamps maximum. So let's say you had 10 wall switches. Well, one of these relays would handle 10 switches without any problem at all. So as you're going to have a lot of these, because you're going to have them on every bank of your lights. You might have them on individual lights, like in a hallway. You might have 2 or 3 lights on one, so in just one wall switch, or maybe a 3-way 2 wall switches. So it's easily going to handle it. So it's kind of additive. So as you run your Cat 5e or Cat 6 from module to module, you're picking up more power. So you know the bus has got plenty of power to deal with the devices on the bus. There's no in or out on this, so you could go from here to here, here to here. It doesn't matter. From here to a switch, to a light, to another relay, and just whatever the shortest route is to run your Ethernet cable and save money that way. So, you know, the good and the bad of it. You know, just I installed some a couple years ago and they haven't failed on me. So, you know, they're probably a very good device. LED lighting isn't a heavy load. The inrush when you first turn on LEDs is a little bit high, but on these it's not bad. Let's see, these are good for how many amps? These are good for 16 amp tungsten, 16 amp ballast, 16 amp general purpose. They're even good for a half horse motor. Funny thing is, they don't list anything for LEDs. But, you know, they're obviously used for LEDs. That's what the engineer spec'd out, and all the lighting was LED. So, I mean, the LED doesn't care if it's coming on or off. And actually, even on one fixture, there's no minimum load required on these. They switch on and off even with no load, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that's about it. Good little product. You'll probably run into a lot of them if you're an electrician. And it'd be good to learn, and heck, if you became certified, you could commission buildings and certify buildings and make money that way, just sitting there with your little laptop, and away you go. I hope this video helped you, and if you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll be back in a couple days with more videos on things like this. All right, you take care.